I just went to the shop and I picked up a copy of the Daily Express. Here it is. This is very shocking. And I picked it up because it says, "Make no mistake, migrant flights to take off soon." And Michael Knowles says in his analysis, "Tough talking Rishi Sunak has delighted many Conservative MPs." That's about all he's delighted. With his strongest comments yet on the European Court of Human Rights. He'll be hoping voters sit up and take notice as well. But I suspect he's hoping that they'll sit up and take notice in a positive way. I've certainly taken notice. But the real issue that is lurking in the shadows of the row over Strasbourg is the illegal migration crisis which has overwhelmed Britain's asylum system. What has overwhelmed Britain's asylum system, let's be very clear, is the Home Office indolence and the failure of the Home Office to clear the asylum applications which are outstanding. And while that has happened, it doesn't matter whether Rishi or cleverly have identified 150 to 250 or 150 to 200 asylum seekers already identified for the first flights to Rwanda. We previously revealed 5,664 asylum seekers were eligible for relocation to Kigali, but this has been whittled down to the low three figures for the first flights. Well, it doesn't make any difference because the purpose of it is to be a deterrent. Except that deterrent is clearly not working because there's been a rise in the number of migrants coming to the UK on small boats. It doesn't matter whether they are defined as illegal. If they're illegal, if they've broken the law, if they are illegal, then surely they should be in prison. That's what illegality means, isn't it? Or they should be dragged before the courts to have the case proven. We have so many people on social media banging on the desk and saying, "Innocent until proven guilty." Well, not if you're a, quote, illegal migrant, not if you come to the UK by an illegal route. I recognise the illegal route. My problem is I'm not sure that I think Suella Braverman's two pieces of legislation that define anyone who uses that illegal route in defiance of international agreements that we are still signatories to as illegal migrants. It's a contradiction. Now, by all means, leave the 1951 Refugee Convention, by all means, or get an international conference to redefine it and rework it, because it's clearly not working for anybody. But to have two pieces of contradictory legislation is a joy for the legal profession. The only people who are going to make any money out of this, the only people who are going to enjoy this problem are the lawyers. And Rishi Sunak is saying, well, we accept some lawyers, but not others. Anybody connected with the European Court of Human Rights, we don't accept. And yet, the fight is not with the European Court of Human Rights. The fight is with the Supreme Court in the UK. The fight is with his own people. The fight is with British lawyers, who he then wants to term lefty lawyers. There's a limit to how many descriptions, pejorative descriptions, you can impose on a group whose views you don't share. But there is no doubt that this deterrent so far is not working. Why? Because these people are already deterred. They're already running for their lives. Whether that's for that's because they're escaping war, because they are trying to fulfill the promises that Britain made and that seems to have it seems not to be honouring, and have fled from Afghanistan on their own steam and under the assurances given by people traffickers who manage that, or whether and of course they may well think that they are travelling with the blessing of Britain. They may well think this is the way to do it. Or there are people who live in such dire poverty, they've been told that they're going to be better off in the UK. Or they've got friends in the UK who've managed in the past to square this circle. Well, you know, so many people in the past were economic migrants here. And if we're going to make that distinction, an economic migrant is not welcome, but a refugee is welcome, and I think we probably should make that distinction. That distinction has to be imposed by the Home Office, looking at people's paperwork and saying, you don't qualify, you do qualify. Rather like in the producers, you, not you. And the majority of people who are coming across the channel who do get processed are being approved. In other words, they're not economic migrants. They have reasonable grounds to claim refugee status. So, on every level, I don't really understand why the Express is getting so excited that something has worked. Even if a Rwandan plane takes off, is that going to act as a deterrent? Or is that simply going to act as a yaboo to the people who are ridiculing Rishi's 5 pledges?